Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, and the easiest thing, and what you're going to probably be adding more likely than not, is washer fluid. Washer fluid, as you can tell, it has a little bit of a blue cap on here, and you can see where it has this insignia on here where it signifies the washer fluid being squirted up onto the window. All right, so we're going to take that off, pull it off to the side like that. We're going to grab our washer fluid, and we can fill it up all the way up to the very, very top. Just like that. All right, then after you put your washer fluid in, you would take your cap, put it on, make sure you hear it click in place. Very important that it clicks in just like that. All right, next thing is, this is the motor oil. This is where you check your oil. So let me show you how that is. The way you would check your oil is you take your dipstick and you pull the dipstick out. You take a clean rag, wipe the oil off the dipstick just like this. Take your dipstick, put it back in there, push it all the way down as far as it can go. Leave it sit there for a second, then you pull it back out, and we'll take a look at it to make sure that the level is full. And as you can see, it's full. If the oil is just down over into this area right here, you do not need to add oil to it. Only if it gets down to over here, then it would take approximately a quart, and then you would add the oil to bring it up to its full mark, which would be right here. Okay? Now, what I recommend too is, as cars get older, these O-rings on here tend to dry out. So you may want to lubricate them just a little bit, and the way you do that is just take some oil from here and rub it around on here, and then we can put it right back in, just the way it's supposed to be, and push it down until it locks in place, and it's all the way down. All right, so that's where you check your motor oil. The next thing is over here is your brake fluid. So let me bring you in there. I'll show you what that looks like as well. So if you look underneath here, you'll see brake fluid. Let's see if you can see this here. Brake fluid has what's called a minimum and a maximum. I don't know if you can see this, but right down here, it shows the minimum. See that line down there? As you can see right here, that's the minimum right there. So when the fluid gets down to that point, if you need to add to it, you can. It is normal for this fluid, as cars wear down and the brakes start to wear down, it is normal for this fluid in here to go down. Only if it gets below the minimum here will you need to add to it. So if this is up here and you have a little bit of air space in here, do not add to it, because when you do the brakes, you'll push the pistons back in on the brakes, and then fluid will come out underneath here. Now, if you're not sure what fluid to use, you can look up on the top of the cap right here, and it tells you what type of fluid you use. If you need to add fluid to it, it's very simple. Just grab the cap, turn it, lift it, just like that, and you can add the fluid as needed. And as you can see, this fluid is full. We don't have to do anything with that. All right, so make sure you put the cap back on, turn it until it locks in place, just like that. And then that is how you check the brake fluid. Now down over here is your antifreeze or coolant. It's a little more difficult to see, but as you can see down here, or maybe you can't, let's bring this down here. You can see there's a maximum down on the very bottom. Let's see if I can get you in closer. Don't know if you can see that line down there. There's a line down there that says maximum. That's where you want to fill it up to. You do not want to overfill it. All right, now if you did have to add antifreeze to it, like I said, you want to make sure that you use the correct antifreeze. You want to use the Honda antifreeze, and this is where the coolant goes. You just open this up like this, take it off, and you would pour the fluid until you're at the maximum mark down there. All right, and when you finish, you just screw the cap back on like that, and it's nice and tight. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you is right down the bottom, right over here. This is where your transmission fluid would be added to. Now, cars years ago used to have a dipstick to tell the level of the transmission fluid. They don't have that any longer. This is just a plug right here that you would put transmission fluid in. All right, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's where most of all your fluids are. Now, I will point this out to you too. This is your radiator cap right here. You never, ever, ever want to open that cap up while it's hot because you'll wind up burning yourself. All right, so if you need to add antifreeze to it, this is where you're going to add it to. All right? All right, so now you know where you can check your antifreeze, your washer fluid, your brake fluid, and where everything goes. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.